Welcome to the Cafe Nightly Show. I'm your host, the Goldsmith. It is Thursday, the 25th of January, 2024. And kind of had this inkling, this feeling, this thought, this little bit of projection on, hey, we've got a bunch of things that are happening in the Q1 2024. Some of them were laid out earlier in the month. And, we're going to expect that someone will come down the pipe. One of them has come down the pipe. We'll get into the specifics here. Big one is we were told that there's going to be a revamp of seasons. We were, hinted this revamp of seasons. At the same time, we were told about having the ability to leave our ornaments up and decorations staying. We were told it was part of the quarter goals, the quarter rock. So we will get into some of the specifics there. And there's a lot more there than just seasons, and we'll get into that. It could spell out a big change for the future of Upland. There's been a couple people who have said, asked a couple interesting questions. They've got a couple interesting answers. I've got my own perspective on it. It's a perspective that I've been developing over the last 3 years here, and we'll get into that opinion and that perspective here as well. But as we get started, of course, definitely worth knowing a couple of things. Obviously, NFLPA burn events. We did move into the divisions, so move from the divisions into the championship. From the championship, obviously, we'll end the big game here at the end. So we got 2 championship games over the weekend. There is time to burn in now. We'll get into and remind people on the details on that. We did have collection reveal today, so that was successful. That seemed to work relatively well. Always a couple minutes between this thing happening and that thing happening, but everything worked very well. But key and very much the case. If you got lucky in Tokyo, congratulations. If you didn't, the event's not over yet. You might get that terminal. There's still a couple things left there. And a reminder, today is the day. Get registered if you do have a Block Explorer shop. I know a lot of us do. Today is the day to register for the potential to buy tomorrow the Block Explorer bundles, which is the way that Upland is able to sell to Block Explorer shops at wholesale. So get into that as well. Just a reminder there as we do kick things off. Good disclaimer up front: all views and opinions expressed by myself, mine and mine alone, shouldn't be taken as game strategy or financial advice. We are on Discord and we are on YouTube simultaneously, obviously trying to get recordings up immediately after the show, and hopefully there's some insight here to give us a little better idea of what we're really looking at with this announcement. So without further ado, I definitely want to put this up front. Might as well get the share screen up on the Discord link, because there's a little bit of information on that Discord announcement. You would see similar information if you took a look in the game, in-game announcements. But there's a little bit on the Discord link before you even get into the off-page link, off-page information. At everyone, as we continue to enhance the Upland experience, we're excited to introduce a revamped structure to our seasons. Let's start by unveiling the newly defined seasons. Again, this is a big part, but a small part of the announcement. 6 seasons of the year: the frost season, it's a winter-themed season. The blossom season, it's symbolizing renewal and new beginnings, kind of a spring season. Genesis, obviously, around Genesis week, making it into more of a Genesis season instead of just a couple days or a week. There's Sizzle, which is the summer. We had Sunburnt season, was the old language. Now we call it Sizzle. Harvest, obviously, in the fall time area. Probably going to encapsulate a little bit of the Halloween. Probably going to encapsulate a little bit of the broader seasonal fall stuff. And then, of course, Wonderland. Wonderland is that holiday season, the holiday festivities. We see that the little elves out there. Maybe we see the stuff that's themed and patterned around Christmas. Maybe we'll see things that are themed and patterned around Hanukkah. Maybe we'll see things that are themed and patterned around Yule as we do move forward, because that is the time of year that encapsulates. Let's take a look a little further into what's deeper here. It is important as we implement these changes. Our goal is and remains to be to create a more dynamic, engaging, and enjoyable experience for all Uplanders. Check out the link below for more information. And this is going to change 4 key fundamentals in the game, and some additional ones as well that they didn't put in the list. But they said ornaments and seasonal rewards rewards being the key language there. Gamified UPX earnings and missions. That's key. We'll get into that in more detail. Dynamic activities during season breaks. Yes, I want to see those. I want to see more activities that are themed to the season. I want to see more reason to move assets, change assets, decorate properties. I want those all to be there. And monuments and MV motor racing. Again, there's going to be some changes here with our monuments. There's some changes with MV Motors Racing, how these are all tied into these seasonal race series. We'll get into everything that's on those lists. Of course, here's the breaks. Here's the duration. The breaks is kind of an interesting concept. The idea that we have the majority of the year is taken up by one season or another, and then at a time where you're in no season, where any events that were happening, maybe there's an opportunity for reset between seasons. Maybe there's something that can happen in that no man's zone where you're neither one season nor the other. We'll have to see how that plays out, but it does open up that dynamic. We're implementing a structured schedule with 6 seasons. Each upland season will commence on the 1st of the month and conclude on the 15th of the following month. Essentially, we have 6 equally spaced start dates, more or less equally spaced start dates throughout the year of seasons. They're not truly 2-month seasons. They're 45-day seasons with a break of 15 days after each. Again, they conclude on the 15th day of the second month. Following that by a very brief intermission, again, about a 15-day intermission, depending on the month, before the next season starts. This new schedule offers the community a more consistent and predictable framework. Again, you want to know when you're going to have a reward for putting up Halloween decorations. You got a better idea about that. You have a better idea of if something's specific to sizzle season. You know what time of year to plan on a year ahead, 8 months ahead. You know when you buy an asset that's tied to sizzle season, you know the time of year that it is going to have the most effect or be the most valuable or give you the most benefit. So I like that we kind of are able to build the year out like that. Events that change one season to the next, one day to the next are great. Those will continue to be a part of the game. But again, just kind of making this landscape a little more broad to give more opportunities for gamification, more opportunities for utilization of these seasons, and the potential that layer 2 development can jump on that bandwagon. And the layer 2 developers in the UGC set who are making ornaments can do better, to do more with what they're doing in ornaments, because we have a better understanding of how these are going to play out and a deeper focus by Upland to do things with them. Let's look at the deeper focus. Season is a fundamental or foundation for dynamic content and engagement. The introduction of our updated seasonal structure is not just a change in the timing, it's a foundational shift towards enriching the entire gameplay experience. Again, I think they highlighted the right word here, enriching the entire gameplay experience. Seasons now become the central theme around which events, city openings, future gamification features, and even more will revolve. This structure ensures a continuous stream of fresh content, highlighted engagement, and diverse experiences for the community. Again, this is big. This is huge. I think that one of the biggest, most compelling, strongest arguments and concerns that people put out about Upland, sometimes in raised voices, sometimes reasonably and calmly, was where's the game? Some people are happy with treasure hunting. Some people like to do the flips and time the sales of properties and get lucky on collection reveal. But the gamification, the overall, I'm doing something for this period of time every other day and getting a reward for it, or feeling that I'm just having fun. That's my reward. That was missing. That's been missing. Some would say that's still missing. There's still more to happen. There's still more to come. People want more of a reason to log in every day. That 0.01 spark every 7 days is great. Totems are a lot of people's bread and butter right now. 5,555 totems in the game of Upland. That's not enough for everyone to have as many as they want to have, but it's a start on gamification. And here's the next step of it. Taking the game, fundamentally building a little bit of a structure on which more gamification can be built. So if that is our steps forward, or our first steps here towards a future of gamification more broadly in the game of Upland in Layer 1, with the opportunities for Layer 2 to come in and more broadly expand, or more broadly shift their gaming experience around seasons. I'm looking forward to it. Ornaments and seasonal rewards in Upland. With ornaments available year-round, each season will present a special opportunity for players. When players decorate their structures with the appropriate ornaments for the current season, they will be eligible for variety. A variety. Not very specific, but again, broad. A variety of seasonal rewards and prizes. This aspect of the game not only introduces an element of strategy, but also infuses the world of Upland with a dynamic and ever-changing aesthetic. Again, it is great that people are building out neighborhoods. I'm looking forward to this continuing. I would love there to be blueprint shops. I know it's been kicked down the road. That's a can that may not come to rest for a while, but I would love to see, people come up with limited edition structures. There's 50 of, there's 100 of that, are created by players, are UGC, and people build those structures. That would be great. That would be a great way of enhancing the cities. But once you get built out, that's what the city looks like, and it's nice that it looks that way. To have seasonal decorations, to have changes of season. In the real world, I live in New England, so I see the difference in the leaves changing in the fall, and what the weather is like in December versus the weather in June. So it is nice to be able to have that seasonality. And as of right now, the ornaments and the decorations and being encouraged to decorate one way or the other seems to be a strong potential for that seasonality to exist in Upland. So that's key. Introducing gamified UPX earnings and missions. Again, this is a big one. Upland will soon introduce a new feature, gamified UPX earnings. This feature will become a key element of each season, enhancing the gaming experience for all players. This feature will bring a series of missions related to property development and engaging in game activities. To achieve the max earning percentage of your properties, again, Upland should have highlighted this. This should be boldface. The maximum earning percentage on your properties. Players will need to complete these missions. Gamified yield is specifically designed to reward players who are consistently active and engaged in the community, in the game. We'll provide more details on this engaging season-based feature as it launches soon, as the launch approaches. Again, key here. Question was asked, Morchis had asked publicly or semi-publicly in UGN or UCN, what this means. Does this mean that there's going to be a reduction or a deletion of the dividend rewards as we currently know them? Is that going to be something that's going to be a thing of the past? Is it going to replace them, or is it going to be an addition to? And that was a very smart question. There's been a lot of discussion for people for a long time. The team has kind of supported this concept in the past when it's been brought up by players, that as dividends decline, maybe there's ways for some people to increase their dividends by doing certain things. This idea that I've done things to enrich my neighborhood, to enrich my property, but I'm still getting the same exact dividends if I had done no work to do so. It is nice to see that concept be parroted by Upland, because there's a lot of people in the community who've said that. Why do structures not play into my dividends? Why does a neighborhood that's fully built out have the same dividend as an area that has not a single structure in that neighborhood? So that is is something that Upland, I think, has heard. I think I've heard from the team of Upland that it is possible for there to be enhancements that enhance the dividends for beating certain things. But the key thing here is, for me, is we don't have all the details, but there is that little hint. Morchie's asking the question, getting the answer, that we have to wait. You have to wait to find out how that's going to work. And I will put my 2 cents on this are, we always knew dividends were going to decrease. Dirk has talked. He talked on stage to me because it was a question that was asked and he answered it. This concept that there is dividends in the game of Upland as an incentive for people to hold on to properties. We know the potential to dividends to decrease has existed. We've had one dividend decrease. We haven't had it 1 cent. It's been speculated. It's been discussed, and there may be a reason for it. One of the controlling factors or influencing factors between the difference between UPX and USD in the game of Upland as far as the economy is concerned. Again, there's other factors. There's some that have been more significant, some that have been less significant, but one of them is the UPX that people get from dividends. If people get dividends passively, the more dividends they get, the easier it is for them to accrue UPX without swapping properties, without exchanging properties, without putting USD in the game. And that, to some degree, devalues properties that people are buying in just UPX, or at least shifts the market on properties people are buying just UPX away from the USD market. That's been one of the factors. So potentially Upland is going to view at one point or another that they're going to reduce the dividends that are given out or change how you get them. And I think that's what this is. I don't think this is people losing their dividends as a whole. I don't think this is a direct increase in dividends. I think it's somewhere in the middle. I think maybe you have a percent factor or a modifier or a coefficient, if you like, that is changed by activities you do, and that coefficient modifies your output. Guess what, guys? We're doing these totems. These totems are very much controlled the same way. We have penalties that affect the cycles or affect the overall intervals within an overall cycle based on different penalty effects. We have a percent yield based on, did you feed it enough? Did you feed it at the right time, essentially? And again, not feeding the right time pushes you outside that cycle. So we could see these modifiers be applied in a similar way to totems, because maybe that's what we were testing, or one of the things we were testing with totems. We knew we were testing to get ready for life, but now we're testing, or potentially testing, for the reality of interactivity, of gamification. And I think that's very much in the mix. In what we're seeing here is the next level of gamification is somewhat going to be similar to totems, in that there's things you have to do on a periodic basis or on a seasonal basis, and the doing it at the right time is going to be tied to what rewards you can expect on the backside, which could replace or could modify the dividends that we've gotten accustomed to getting for nothing. Easy bet. Let's get into some of the easier fluff stuff to get out here on the backside of this announcement. Dynamic activities during the season breaks. The breaks between the seasons in Upland are set to become periods of unique engagement. We are looking for a range of activities, things like Layer 2 challenges. Remember, we've talked about these tournaments in these Layer 2 environments. This is something we got teased and pushed and didn't really get pushed along and never really came. We did have the tournament structure, a leaderboard structure, get implemented in a Layer 2 game in Playable Games' X range. We've seen that come in. That's been pretty successful for them as a weekly tournament board. That's kind of cool. Maybe more of those end up happening in these breaks between seasons. Maybe we see some race events in between. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nod, nod. To ensure that these intervals are captivating as the seasons. Again, you're outside the season. There's still something. There's some event that Upland's going to drop that's going to be in and of its own self, tied to the time that in which it happens. These breaks will provide diverse experiences and fresh ways to connect the Upland community, as well as giving players time to prepare for the next season. The monuments and the MV Motors racing. Upland is enhancing the seasonal gameplay with the introduction of official MV Motor race events. What does that mean? That means that the partnership between the URL and Upland may continue to be something that continues on. We may continue to see these events with URL and Upland. But what it ultimately likely means is that Upland is going to put on some of these races in and of themselves. Upland official MV Motors races. Upland sets the prize. Upland sets the sign-up basis. And In theory, though the URL events have been very successful for a lot of people have enjoyed them. In theory, it broadens the scope and the reach because you don't have to sign into a log into or go into a new Discord. So I do look forward to this, and fingers crossed, I look forward to continued URL events as well. So these events will add a new layer of thrilling competition to the game. Obviously, Upland has to get a little bit overzealous on this, but yeah, I mean, it is going to be racing in the game of Upland, officially with Upland, and not having to have a partner put it on. We are also thrilled to introduce Monuments, a new feature that will bring the world's most iconic landmarks to Upland. These are incredibly rare and exceptionally unique. We already have landmarks. Monuments are one step above those. Again, that's what it looks like. The monuments will be more than just iconic landmarks. They're going to host the official circuits for Upland's racing events. They will also have additional unique features which will be announced in the near future. Go figure. Let's see how that works. We look forward to sharing more details about the exciting development in the near future. Stay tuned. Monuments may be non-player owned properties. They may be community owned properties. We don't know much about this. We'll keep our eyes out and get this figured out later on down the line. Again, more details. We're in Q1. We've got 2 more months for Q1 to wind down, and hopefully we'll get those announcements within this quarter. Get excited as we implement these plan changes. Our goal remains to create a more dynamic, engaging, and enjoyable experience for all Uplanders. We are excited to see how the updates enhance your adventures and the interactions within the Uplanded metaverse. So, again, quick takeaway: this was put on the Q1 2024 roadmap. This is a completion of that loop, or at least 3/4 of the way completion. We know there's some items that are going to continue to get pushed out here a little bit, but it's Upland delivering on what they told us they're going to deliver on: a revamp of the holidays or of the seasons in the game of Upland. It's exciting. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see how it rolls out and ends up being implemented. There is more to be learned, and the big drop there, as asked by Cheese, as pointed out by Cheese to the the greater Upland team, is how is this overall going to affect our dividends? Is it going to affect them a little? Is it going to affect them none? Is it going to take them all away? That is a big question. And again, I have my own opinions. We'll find out more as that comes through. And again, I think my own opinion, just put it out there broadly, is it's somewhere in the middle. Maybe the overall dividends people get may decrease if they do absolutely nothing. They may either stay the same or go up a little bit if they put in a decent amount of activity. But looking forward to seeing how that plays, because I like when my gameplay results in better results. As far as Upland's concerned, me sitting on properties, same dividends as somebody who also sits on properties. I might log in more often. We get the same yield. We'll see how those updates potentially encourage more people to get in and play the game. A couple things I do want to touch on, obviously, as these long-term announcements that are still open and we are still following on. Key things. Key things that we also have for announcements. Again, we have tomorrow our sale, or the sale for for all of our Block Explorer shops. Again, these bulk sales, these wholesale sales, people have been hoping for them or asking for them. We have another one coming up. It's tied into a burn. It is tied into the City of Tokyo expansion release. Kind of excited to see this hit with a keynote that says they're a Block Explorer store. Got fingers crossed. Since there's only 200 of these packs available, it is definitely possible that not everybody who wants wants one of these packs is going to get one. We know that those who get these packs are obviously going to put them up for sale. Most of them will put them up for sale, I should say, and we will see how that market develops. Because again, with a burn on the backside, with a limited period of time, there's going to be a short period of time when there's going to be an enhanced value of these, and that'll go away after not too long of a period of time. Again, we are in the Tokyo expansion period. We had the collection reveal today. We did have the sale tomorrow. The registration period is open now for the Block Explorer shop owners bundle sale. Again, these 6 items, they're purchased in bundles. You get a random mix of 3 of those, and then once those go up for sale in the shops, people are going to have to collect them if they want to go for the burn event. The Tokyo Samurai Block Explorer burn, again, opens up tomorrow at 9 a.m. PT. Tomorrow, the 26th of January, 9 a.m. PT. Burn event ends 9 a.m. PT the following Friday the 2nd. To engage in the burn process, players will need to combine 1 mask from the sweetener sale, 1 weapon, and 1 Japan-themed item. They do have to be purchased, again, from a Block Explorer shop, because a Block Explorer shop is going to buy them in USD. If you want to buy them in OPEX, if you want to buy them and you don't have Block Explorer shop, you're going to have to go to a Block Explorer shop to purchase them. This combination is a level up and will grant you 1 random Tokyo Samurai Block Explorer Kino. Burn wisely. Burn 1 sweetener, burn 1 weapon, burn 1 Tokyo themed item. That's it. Or Japan themed item. That's it. Don't burn more per burn. Don't burn different ratio. Make sure you burn all 3. Period. Otherwise, you will not get what you're looking for. You will not get the samurai reward. The passes, we are still waiting for a snapshot in the pass. Snapshot's taking place tomorrow, January 26th. Make sure you are holding the pass if you want to be part of that snapshot. If you miss it, if you miss the snapshot and you do not get it properly allocated for you, buying a pass after the fact is not going to help you get a property. Do keep that in mind. We got a few hours left to do this. I have my pass. I'm holding on to it. I'll see what I'm allocated as a property, then decide if I want to go mint it or not, because you do have to be in the city of Tokyo to mint after the snapshot, after you're allocated a property to mint. Again, the mint period is the 26th through the 29th, so it'll be running through this weekend. As of right now, the other big part that I'm concerned with on the Tokyo event is the terminal giveaway. Airport Terminal, one of the international airport terminals, was reserved for the giveaway. The way it's going to work, obviously, is 1 entry per property minted. You do have to mint. You do not buy secondary. Anything that's minted in the expansion portion of Tokyo does qualify, and that is going to continue on until the 1st of February when that snapshot happens at noon PT. And then otherwise, in between now and then, anything that you do mint is obviously going to add to those total of your entries. The Mint Master badges did help. 25 points per Mint Master badge, 25 entries per Mint Master badge earned by individuals who go lucky enough to earn those during the Mint of Tokyo. So as of right now, we are going to continue on with Tokyo, but as we are continuing on with Tokyo, it's definitely worth noting, again, NFLPA, we do move into the championship, or the we go into 2 championship games, and before we go into the big game of the year, we do have the leaderboard contest still going on, and the keynotes on that leaderboard contest, obviously for me, are this is something that I'm gonna have to go to live updates to find it. This is something that does help, or is out there for the concept of giving some utility for the NFLPA. Having this idea of giving away the prizes of the replicas, having a burn mechanism that goes to the replicas is taking a step closer. A step closer to having replicas in the game of Upland, but we don't seem to see this directly in the game of Upland yet. We don't yet have this concept of burn 5, get 1, but this contest is going to get you halfway there. Again, top of the leaderboard, top 10 on the leaderboard of each team that is going to be in one of the games is going to get a replica of the best, essentially the best player of that game. You get a replica of them. There's only 10 available, so it's a replica of 1 memento. Again, 10 of those replicas are available. Pretty simple, pretty easy. First time we get replicas. We've been waiting on this for 2 years. with the NFLPA. Kind of excited to see it happen again. I'm looking forward to seeing what the burn ratio is, deciding if I want to burn any of my legits in the future. But now is an opportunity. If you got an extra legits, NFLPA legits, you don't value them, you don't think you're going to sell them anytime soon on the market, you can burn them. You do have to be in the top 10 on the leaderboard in order to end up and get one of those, one of the replicas. But it is an opportunity for people to compete. Again, the gamification's there, but keep in mind, you're burning an asset without a guarantee for a prize. That is a takeaway I want to put up front, so people don't burn an asset and get surprised when they don't win anything. Um, but otherwise, it is one or two steps towards replicas, which I like, and I'm glad that we're finally getting this for the NFLPA. Otherwise, as we do wind up through Spark Week, definitely still open, still opportunities abound. If you want to get a little bit of a level up, you want to take that level up, you are right at that point of status change in the game of Upland, because you have increased your net worth. Congratulations, take it. Take your 20% bonus for the higher levels level up. You get your one-time 0.06, which you can only get during a Spark Week. If you are a Uplander, or sorry, if you are a visitor going up to Uplander, that opportunity is not available any other time. And then otherwise, Spark Week, as we've gone through, we did have a Spark sale. The one interesting thing that I can report on the Spark sale is we got a pretty decent sell through. The key thing here on the sell through has been that Upland has kind of modified a little bit what they've put out. We still do have 12 of the 0.5 Spark available at $239.99 a piece, and 14 of the full Spark at $459.99 a piece available. All other versions, all other sizes, scales have sold out. With the reality that Sparklet's coming, it's hard to tell what the market for Spark is going to do. We know that there is going to be the potential of speculation on Sparklet, which could be adding pressure to Spark in the game of Upland. We know that people could be taking their Spark out of the game of Upland, putting it into Sparklet, and try to trade it on the open market, pushing down the overall sale value of Sparklet, potentially affecting the value of Spark. And of course, there's that other method and that other means of consideration, and that is if people take enough Spark out of the Upland ecosystem to put into Sparklet and to trade and to expand, or to park in a portfolio somewhere and to just sit in a wallet to get old and dusty, then we are going to see that the availability of Spark and Upland decreases, which could affect the value of Spark as a utility, aside from the value of Sparklet outside the system. Go figure. It is a independent economy when you cross the Upland border and go into the more broad world, even though we are intentionally trying to build a token that allows people to take Spark, or the value of Spark, take it out of Upland and theoretically bring it back. So I do like to see that. It is exciting that we have this coming, but that will have some effect on the value of Spark moving forward. Just keep that in mind as you decide whether or not to buy Spark, as you continue to do your treasure hunting, putting effort in, working to buy more Spark. And again, with this format of Spark Week, with the idea that we are building an event around Spark Week as opposed to, just a status up and just a sale, building an event around it, giving people the opportunity to build these limited structures only available for a 24-hour period. We do transition into our next city as far as the mint's concerned. Again, 24-hour rotation is all we get. Keep that in mind. But we do see with these additional events tied to Spark Week, I don't know if they entirely replace a treasure hunting event, which a lot of people participated and enjoyed, but it does make it more of an event. So I'll give that to it. I do think that it's pretty interesting to see how many of these structures people are building, because there's certain structures that sit there for months being available for the market. People just don't build. There's cities and neighborhoods that have one or two properties, and then they give these limited time properties. They structures. They were told that you can build this on your property for only a short period of time. You can't. You can't build it out next week. You can't wait a month to start it. You got to start it now, and you got to leave spark on it and slowly build it out over time. And it somehow turns people on to the building aspect, and they build a bunch of these. A unique structure for Dallas is open right now, the 25th at 9 a.m. PT. That was today, to tomorrow, the 26th at 9 a.m. PT. So last opportunity to build this Dallas structure is going to end tomorrow, 9 a.m. PT. And then, of course, Nashville. Nashville's our last bunch, the 26th to the 27th. That is Friday into Saturday, 9 a.m. PT to 9 a.m. PT. This is a structure. This is what it looks like. Get in and build it if you want to do so in that 24-hour window. That's it. Pretty simple, pretty easy. Otherwise, on those structures, you missed your opportunity if you didn't take it for this brownstone. I've been corrected and told there's no brownstones in Queens. That's technically not true, but I agree that it's more iconic for other boroughs in the city. It's more iconic for portions of Manhattan, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay that it exists. But I will agree with some New Yorkers who want to say, "Hey, wrong borough, Upland." But it's a nice looking structure. If you didn't get one built, if you didn't get one started, you can go buy one from somebody else because you can't construct it. Pretty simple, pretty easy. For tonight, I do want to give a couple of announcements and teasers. First and foremost, I'm working on an interview with someone with Upland UGC. Not going to happen tomorrow for sure because that's my other announcement. Due to travel schedules with some real world show work I'm going to be doing, I am going to be out of town in such a way that I can't run a show, or very unlikely to run a show tomorrow evening. So that will be something, unfortunately, I will not be able to do. But we'll be back, of course, on Monday, 7 p.m. PT, and we'll see. We'll see how this runs this weekend. We'll see how the NFLPA contests work. And again, fingers crossed, maybe the leaderboards work for the first time. People aren't sitting around waiting to see what happened with those leaderboards. For tonight, thank you so much for joining in. Thanks for being here. If you are listening recorded, we try to get these up live 7 p.m. PT Monday through Friday. We try to get them up shortly after the show. So that if you want to see and catch the news while it's still relevant, you got that period of time to do so after we finish recording. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for the time. And of course, as always, if you're in the Upland Discord, feel free to unmute your mics. The floor is yours.